They want to get rid of presidents, this whole woke thing going on. They want to cancel everybody else. They didn't want to cancel Al Capone. Why? What's the intrigue? Why all the movies? Why the television series? Why all the paraphernalia? What's the big intrigue with the mafia of Cosa Nostra?
I walk in redemption.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. And as always, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to our God for that. Before I begin, I want to thank all of our followers, both old and new, and all the people that view my content. In the last 28 days, we have reached almost 15 million viewers, and it's close to a record for us. So I really appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, both the videos and the shorts, and just we'll keep doing our best to give you the best possible content we can. And just know that we appreciate it very much. And watch for some specials now with both Franzese Wine and in our store merchandise. We're going to be giving some holiday specials out to everybody, so watch for that. I have a question. What is it with the fascination with the mob? With Cosa Nostra, with the mafia specifically? What's with the fascination? When I was part of that life, I never really thought about it because it was part of my life. This is what I did. And then I come out of that life and I start speaking. And, when I originally started speaking, I would go into the Midwest where they didn't really know who I was. I mean, I had a big reputation in New York, maybe in California, but Midwest, they didn't really know me. I wasn't national news at that point. And I would go speak at a church, give my testimony, share that. And they would have on the marquee of the church the mob guy, and it would be standing room only because people were intrigued to see and hear a mob guy, a guy that really came out of that life. So I started to realize, and this is happening all over the world. I mean, it happened in Singapore, Australia, Bulgaria, all the places that I've been, there is an intrigue with Cosa Nostra mafia that doesn't exist anywhere else. I got to be honest with you. You can have these other groups. You can have the Mexican cartels, the Colombian cartels. You can have the gangs in New York. So many of you know I've been in the wine business now for just over 2 years, and I'm happy to report that we've been very successful. People are accepting our wine, not only all over the United States, but all over the world. We're getting, people that want to have our wine in various countries. Very rewarding. And our wines are from Armenia, the ancient vineyards, first vineyards in the new civilization. We're introducing it into the United States, been very successful in that. We have a couple of different categories. Our Irani is our #1 seller, terrific, you're gonna love it. We also have a pomegranate wine that you won't find anywhere else. And now we've just introduced non-alcoholic wines, and people, it's off the charts. People are loving that. If you don't drink wine and you want to participate with everybody that does, ours tastes so good. People are really enjoying it. I recommend it. So if I were you, I would go right now to our website, franzesewine.com. It'll tell you where you can buy it. We're in 9 or 10 different states now, soon to blanket the entire country. I know you're going to enjoy it. So thank you all for supporting us, those of you that are enjoying it. We always say it's a sip you can't refuse, and I guarantee if you try it, you're going to see that I'm right. It's just not the same, I'm sorry, it's just not. What is it? I relayed a story not too long ago about Al Capone. I was in a market. He's on the front cover of a magazine. He died, 80 years ago? He wasn't around for a long time. The whole magazine was about Al Capone. And there was one section in there, I'll never forget, where he had a house in Florida and a developer bought it and they were going to knock it down. Well, all the community, 25,000 people signed a petition not to knock down Al Capone's house. They wanted that house there. They want to get rid of presidents, this whole woke thing going on. They want to cancel everybody else. They didn't want to cancel Al Capone. Why? Maybe you can put in the comments and tell me why. What's the intrigue? Why all the movies? Why the television series? Why all the paraphernalia? What's the big intrigue with the mafia of Cosa Nostra? I don't know. I guess because you have colorful figures. You have Al Capone, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Scarface, the whole thing. You got John Gotti, bigger than life in many, many ways, made big news. There isn't people anywhere in the world that don't know who John Gotti is because he's always on the cover. He's always in the media. He was big, big, big news. A lot of guys, Joe Colombo and a lot of the other, this is just how it is. But why the attraction there? Why isn't it with any other criminal group? Please put it in the comments. Let me know why. I'm interested in this. I guess There's a reason we get all this attention. You know, I got a lot of attention myself when I was back in that life. It wasn't great. You don't want that, you know, when the FBI is hunting you every day and putting you in front of the media. And I will tell this, I'm going to tell you this right now. You know why we were so popular with the feds? Why they wanted us? Very simple. Because we made careers and we didn't fight them. We fought them in court. But you come and arrest us, what do? We put out our hands, put the handcuffs on, take us to jail. We'll fight you in court. We didn't shoot back. We weren't a threat. You know, they put on the show sometimes. They came in with, you know, guns blazing and flak jackets and all of that. They didn't need any of that. You know, we would have surrendered most of the time. I surrendered to 2 or 3 of my cases. So, you know, but they put on a big show. But why? Because we made news. We made careers. That's just how it goes. You lock up John Gotti, your career is made if you convict him. And the same with a lot of other guys. You know, this just is how it went in that life. But I have a story today that just, you know, continues to show, you know, the fascination with this life. Big story in the New York Post. I'll read it. And it's, here's the title: Staten Island mansion formerly owned by Big Paul Castellano lists for $18 million and stands to break a borough record by millions. There's no houses in Staten Island worth anywhere near that. Now, it is a fantastic house. Let's go through the article and we'll see some pictures of it. It's a grand Staten Island mansion on 1.75 acres in affluent Todd Hill with views of the Verrazano Bridge and a mob past. Guaranteed, some of the intrigue in buying this house or selling this house and putting that price tag on it is because Paul Castellano owned it. Same like if Al Capone owned a house or John Gotti owned a house and it's put up for sale now. There's going to be a lot of interest in it because of who owned it. Gotti, Castellano, you know, Capone, amazing. And now once more, this 33,000 square foot residence aims to crush the record for the priciest home ever sold in the borough. Now, I will tell you this. I was at the house 2 times. I drove people there. You know, my captain at the time, I drove him to meet Paul. And they went in, had a conversation. I kind of waited outside, but it's a very, I was a recruit at that time, a very impressive place to see. It's beautiful. They called it the White House. We'll read on. For $18 million, a deep-pocketed house hunter can now purchase the ornate property that Gambino family crime boss Big Paul Castellano once owned. Castellano commissioned it in 1976 after succeeding his brother-in-law, Carlo Gambino, as the family's don. The compound was completed in 1980. He redid it, and it's where Castellano resided until his 1985 death, when we all know what happened. John Gotti had him gunned down by 4 men wearing black Russian fur hats outside of Sparks Steakhouse in Manhattan. I'm sure Sammy Gravano can add to this. I'm sure he visited the house many, many times, and he can probably do better than me on this video, but hey, I'm second best at this point. News of the listing located at 177 Benedict Road was first reported by the Staten Island Advance. What's more, this is also the most expensive home now for sale in the borough of Staten Island, according to Street Easy. Just across the street, number 176 is Staten Island's second priciest listing at 11,000 square foot dwelling that listed for $8.95 million in September. Amazing. But you got to see this. I mean, Paul had it done to resemble the White House. Now, is that a little bit narcissistic? I would have to say so. I mean, first of all, why do you want to bring all this attention on you? You're the boss of the Gambino family. The feds are on you every minute of every day. You're a huge catch. They want you. Why would you put it in their face and say, hey, I'm the president of, what was he trying to say? I'm the president of all 5 families here in New York, and, I'm equal to the president? I don't know. Under a different brokerage, Castellano's one-time property aimed to fetch a lower price, $16.8 million, when it listed in October 2023. However, after about a year for sale, that listing was taken off the market. Now, somebody else owns it right now. They bought the house. Even at that time, a sale of that price would have broken big sales record for Staten Island by many millions of dollars. Staten Island's current home sale record was achieved in 2023 when another nearby luxury spread traded hands at $4.6 million. So look at the price gap here. I guarantee they're paying for Paul Castellano's prior ownership of the house, no doubt about it. Castellano famously had the property designed with a pillared portico and a circular drive with a fountain to resemble the White House. The White House was even how it was known by gangsters. Yes, we called it that. and the FBI during Castellano's ownership. And in 2015 was the stage for a Hillary Clinton presidential campaign fundraiser. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Hillary Clinton had a campaign fundraiser at the White House. I wonder who owns it. Must be obviously a Democrat. The property, which has only ever had 3 owners, last traded hands in 2000 for $3.1 million. So look at how this house appreciated. In 2000, $2.1 million, and now it's at $18 million. The post-Castellano years have also seen significant renovations. Current listing representative Melsa Scrapapilo, whatever her name is, of RJM Realty Empire, told the Post the home is far more than its Castellano past. When considering the house, buyers are invited to look beyond its historical significance and appreciate the personal touch that defines this estate. Let me tell you something. This is all about Castellano. I'm sure it's a beautiful house. I'm seeing photos of it. We're going to put them up there. But this is all about Castellano. The houses near it are probably beautiful, maybe just as beautiful, but they're not going for that price. People are paying, or the listing is for the ability to live in the house that Paul Castellano once owned and lived in. It's unbelievable. You know, so this is the point. I mean, why this fascination? Maybe you can explain it to me. I mean, come on. You know, there are other groups out there. And, you know, when it came to, you know, the ability to make money, I always say this, as far as the drug business, the cartels had it all over us. We weren't major drug dealers. We didn't bring in billions of dollars like the cartels do. There's some big figures in that life, both in Mexico and Colombia. Why not the fascination there? Why aren't they doing movies about them? Every once in a while, you'll see one. You'll see a documentary. You might see a series on Netflix, which happen to be pretty good. But come on, in our life, movie after movie, series after series. Look at The Sopranos. Look at Boardwalk Empire. Look at, you know, The Godfather of Harlem. Just look at Tulsa King. I mean, they just keep coming, you know, and there's a fascination there that can't be denied. There's no question about it. Now, some people say it was an evil lifestyle. It's bad. You guys were murderers. You were crooks. You were thieves. How dare they? Well, why do they keep churning out this content then? Why do we have a number of guys on YouTube, you know, that are talking about their life that are doing okay? You know, why? You know, what is it? There's got to be something, people. Maybe you can explain it to me. I mean, I can tell you why. A lot of the young men in Brooklyn, you know, wanted to be part of this life. If you lived around any of the social clubs and you watched how guys carried themselves, mob guys, you wanted to be part of it. I mean, we had the cars, we had the women, we had the money, we had the power. Everybody said that. And that was, you know, was exciting to young men. That's why so many guys got involved. Sammy will tell you the same thing. That's why guys got involved in that life. But what about the general public? You may enjoy a movie, but there's fascination. Look, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people were fascinated with me and meeting me. I understand that. Now, my life has been transformed and changed. Thank the Lord for that. But a lot of people are intrigued to meet with me. And, you know, I have to attribute a lot of that to my former life and what I once was. So maybe you can tell me, but this is a fascinating story. I mean, this is going to be the most expensive house in all of Staten Island. And I guarantee, because part of the selling features and a big part of the feature is that Big Paul Castellano once owned the house. So, you know, look, people, you can't deny it. You absolutely can't deny it. And, you know, look, and I get some haters, you know, comments. And Michael, you know, when I try to say the right thing, and hopefully I do most of the time, people come on, Michael, you were in that life and you probably murdered people and you took advantage of people and all of this. Listen, I said this once before, I'll say it again. And whether you believe it or not, this is the truth. When we took the oath of omerta, and by the way, you know, Halloween night was 49 years ago that I took that oath. It was Halloween night, 1975. And so that's kind of what Halloween means to me. It brings me back to that night, and I remember it vividly. I really do. But when we took the oath of omerta means one thing: silence. It's not an oath to lie, steal, cheat, kill. That's not the oath. The oath of omerta is silence. We are not even supposed to admit that the life exists. Now, is that violated quite a bit? Yes. Have I violated it? Of course. I talk about it all the time. You know, but that's what the oath is about. You're not sworn to lie, steal, murder, and kill. As a matter of fact, if you lie to the wrong people, you could be in trouble for that. If you steal from the wrong people, you can be in trouble for that. Now, quite honestly, we didn't respect the law. We didn't respect law enforcement to a great degree. And when I say didn't respect the law, I mean we would violate the law if it was for our benefit. We did do that. You know, in a lot of ways, we didn't find that immoral. And I've said that many times. Everything that is illegal is not always immoral. If you didn't pay your taxes, it's probably illegal. It is illegal because you have to pay your taxes, but it may not necessarily be immoral. If these taxes are excessive and you'd rather put food on your table than pay the government who squanders the money anyhow. We know that. You know, is it immoral? I don't think so. I would say no. You know, you're doing what you have to do to provide for your family, to provide for your welfare, rather than let the government take it. Now, you're going to pay the consequences. It might be illegal, but that doesn't mean it's immoral. You know, so everything that we did to violate the law may not have always been immoral. And I hope you understand that. And I'm not copping out. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just telling you like it is. So if, you know, a mob guy didn't pay their taxes, it's not always immoral. Could be illegal. You're going to jail for it if you get caught and you get convicted. Yeah, of course. But it's not always immoral. But I want you to understand that, okay? We did not take an oath to lie, steal, murder, and kill and all of that. Does it happen in life? Of course it does. I'm not copping out for that. We understand that. But I think my point is everybody isn't a bad guy. But go back to what I was originally saying. Why the fascination? I understand the fascination from law enforcement. And at times right now, it gets me upset because I see these gangbangers in the street that are wreaking havoc. I see the city of Chicago where innocent people are dying every weekend. I see this Venezuelan gangs now taking over apartment complexes. And I say this very, very honestly. If the FBI would concentrate on these groups the way they focused on us, they'd clean it up quick. They have the RICO statute. They have a lot of ways to deal with this, but they don't. Doesn't make headlines, doesn't make careers. Maybe there's some danger in it because these Venezuelan gangs and others, they shoot back. We didn't. Who knows what the theory is? But they're not doing their job in that respect, and we know that. Read in the papers. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do something on these Venezuelan gangs. It's horrible what's happening there. They're taking over apartment complexes. They're chasing people out. They're scaring people. They're hurting people. What's being done? The local police are at it. Where are the feds? Where's the FBI? I don't know. Anyway, I think you get my point, but I'd like to see it in the comment section. Come out and let me know what your thoughts are on this. But anyway, very interesting. Big Paul Castellano, like Al Capone, they want to, you know, the house is like a mausoleum in many, many ways. And I'm sure it's going to go for close to the asking price. Somebody's going to scoop it up, no doubt. The most expensive house on Staten Island. So that's it for today, my friends. Thought this was interesting. How do I always leave you? Same way, never going to change. And hopefully, you know, you're getting over the anxiety of the presidential election. Everybody's anxious, and you know the aftermath of the lead up to it. It's all anxiety filled. We know that. But anyway, how do I always leave you? Same way. Be safe. Be healthy. God bless each and every one of you. God bless your families, your loved ones, your children, your neighborhoods, your communities. And yes, God bless America. And God, we need you more now than ever. See you next time. Take care.